I remember Coney Island. Coney Island place, again, I went to with my family. And so it's memories shared with people I love. And when I watched this film, we can all connect to little Joey, especially when you're a little girl, right? You're like, yeah, that's how I see Coney Island. Because you see Coney Island, experience it through his eyes. Like, he's at a particular level and you only see like the adults from here down,
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that's how I see the adults. You never saw their heads. You're kind of so I really connected with Joey just on a human sort of kid level. He was not a known actor. He was just a real person that they hired, and real person like the rest of. But
he's human.
Real, but Joey is. But yeah, he was so adorable. You just wanted to, he is just living in these moments. He's just being himself. It's moment to moment with him. It's experience to experience. And I think in acting, often we are planning and we're making choices, we're preparing, and all of that's important. And then you have to, as an adult, let it all go and fly, right? Yeah. And that's necessarily easy for a lot of actors, and we think we have to perform. Don't step into that thinking I have to perform. Joey's like, I want a hot dog. I want or the parachute, drama on that. Like, it was just him experiencing Coney Island. And I don't think he was aware of the camera at all, which is great. A lot of actors are aware of the camera and have to a degree. So it's like you can't not be aware because you also have to be able to know how to play with the camera, have a relationship with the camera. But then you also have to forget it's there and just be able and be in the moment. So I think as an adult it gets harder, actors they're just, they have it, they're uninhibited, they're just living, and it's beautiful. And then sometimes as they get older, they become more self-conscious. It's that's why I truly believe the work in this field never. You're constantly having to grow, and you're constantly being challenged, and you're having to go, okay, what works then? What did I lose? What do I need to bring back?
I feel like, and as people too, it's like we always have to be aware that there's always growth to be done. And I think Little Fugitive is such a beautiful film for young kids to watch now, but also for adults to revisit and remember that feeling of not caring so much, and that feeling of just, I don't know, embracing the little things in life, like hot dogs.
Yeah, and cotton candy, and it's fun to watch that movie because you really see New York back in that day. 1953. It was. I'm not sure.
1953. Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
Wow. So you see Coney Island and how overpopulated it is. Especially given now that we're so we have to practice social distance and we're so segregated, and it's like so heartbreaking, right? But you watch this movie and everyone's piled on top of each other, and no one cares about what you look like, color, whatever, ethnicity. Everyone's just there. They're loving each other. And about New York is very inclusive. It's like everyone's on the train together. So I grew up sort of accepting everybody. Whatever you're into, I don't care. Culture doesn't matter. We're all in this together. And, this movie has that vibe to it.
I love that. That's important, especially for right now, I think.
Yeah, it is. Everyone should just watch that movie. It's one of my favorites of all time.
You know what? I've never seen it, so...
Love it.
And the fact that it's one of your favorites and Scorsese's, I feel ashamed, and I'm going to watch it this weekend.
Well, like I said, it was such an... In fact, I think if you buy the DVD now... and I have it on DVD, but when I bought it, now, because we're talking about Coney Island, my accent's coming out.
Oh, I love it. My Rhode Island accent there.
Perfect. So when I bought the DVD, it said that there was a special intro by Scorsese, and he talks about why he loves.
Oh, I love that. And for everyone watching, if you go to thecherrypicks.com, you can see Lana's full list, and we'll tell you exactly where you can rent it or buy it and all that good stuff so you can watch these films. All right, let's talk about some other films on the list. What about Whatever Happened to Baby Jane?
Whatever happened to Baby Jane?
Ooh, it's a good one. All right, you say something really cool here too. You say, I love getting into the minds of these characters. I want to understand how they became this way. The why and how is what I find most intriguing, and then digging deep to explore more. And this immediately makes me think of your own career, because I feel like you are so brilliant at embracing and doing, you are the duality of character. You just do so brilliantly and effortlessly. And so I would love to know how that film has personally impacted your own work, because I see that. I see the love for this type of filmmaking in your own work.
Thank you. Well, psychology plays a huge part in this, and it's my love for psychology. And I think that especially when you're creating a character, you're not just creating the body and the voice, but you're creating the mind, right? So I think it's really important for actors to know psychology. You know, practice, psychology 101, and just like on basics in developing another really human being, you have to understand how mind works.
Yeah.
When I watched this film, I was captivated by Betty Davis. I just thought, she is completely out of her mind, and it's so easy to judge.
Yeah.
She's crazy. What's wrong with her? She's evil. But is she? I mean, or did she become like that? And that goes back to my character as the evil queen. I remember when we started filming once, I thought, oh my God, everyone's going to hate her. Like, she's such a bitch. But why? How did she become this way? And Betty Davis's performance for me was like the epitome of like the acting, that work that I wanted to do. The leading ladies didn't really, like, I loved watching them, but I found them kind of boring.
Yeah.
The stories didn't really like touch me, move me, or inspire me. I liked putting on a hat and a wig, and I liked dressing up like different characters, boys, girls, it didn't matter. I liked portraying a character. And seeing Betty Davis step into this role, it was a true character. And it was so colorful and so delicious, and she didn't leave anything on the plate. I mean, she just devoured it all and gave it to us. And just captivating to watch. And I realized then that this craft, this was an art form, and this was something I had to learn. So that movie really inspired me. It kind of put me on the track of like, I'm going to do this, and I need to understand how to do this. And without saying my age, although everyone probably knows how old I am, it's been a good probably 30 years of training and studying for me. There's so much to learn still. But I love getting into the minds of these characters. I think that, when you're playing a character with these psychological, mental challenges, you can't judge them. Never judged Regina, Evil Queen, for her actions. I just try to understand why she did them. I didn't list all of the films because there's so many. Like, one of them is Fatal Attraction for me, and I use
that's great.
To watch her and understand her pain and her need and her desperation, and that's why she ended up doing the things that she did. And she had some mental issues, clearly, but underneath all of that is a real human being with needs and desires, insecurities and fears and doubts and loneliness. But when you come from that place and playing these characters, those choices make the characters more relatable than just crazy. Because you can't play crazy. Playing crazy isn't captivating.
No, not at all. And I think that's what's so cool, to bring it back to Once Upon a Time for a second, which I always loved about the show too, is that it embraced that side of Regina, which a lot of, whether it's films or series, they, like you said, a lot of times women are very just labeled as the,
emotional,
one-dimensional, people. And gosh, the roller coaster of Regina's ups and downs, and she really, that show really kind of on a larger scale touched upon what's in all of us. which is this idea of we're always struggling with what's right or wrong, even if it's on a small scale, or like in Regina's case, you know, actual evil queen versus not in the fairy tale world. But that was what was so brilliant about not only your performance, but I'm so happy that the show embraced that and really ran with it full force, which I think is what made this show so special. Um, but okay, cool. Yeah, so I want to talk lastly about La Vie en Rose, because you mentioned earlier about your also love for music and how music also reminds you of your dad, and that's a very special place in your heart. And I like to always talk about music on this show because I think it's so important in filmmaking. I think it's like after the credits end, sometimes the music from that film is what sort of it settles in with you, and it like digs deep inside and really makes you start sort of thinking or feeling emotions that maybe you didn't while you were watching the film. So I would just love to hear a little bit about your relationship with music and film.
Well, I love to develop playlists for each character.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's so important because music is, I mean, it gets nostalgic. It stirs up I'm huge when it comes to lyrics. I love a great lyricist, right? It's like that's why Joni Mitchell is one of my favorites, because she's just an incredible poet, really,
Well,
right?
you're a poet. You were saying you wrote poetry.
I have. I've done. It's funny because I wrote some. I need a muse these days, you know. Like it doesn't come as freely as it did when I was younger. I just got direction, but I have a book of poetry from when I was 7, 8 to about 15.
Wow.
And
Wow.
then and then I put it down, and I became a teenager, and teenager did all the things you shouldn't have done, and it pulled me away from poetry. But I love lyric, and also finding songs that are like what this character listened to. I always thought Regina would listen to Journey, like she would just be totally. I don't listen to Journey, but I think she would listen to Journey or the Eagles or something.
I love that.
I think she would really be into like classic rock.
Just to like get it out. She just like get all that angst out.
And I would listen to a lot of that. Now, the Evil Queen is definitely more operatic, and when I remember when I was developing the character for myself, obviously Eddie and Adam created her. Well, Walt did, but they took her to the next level. But while I was working on her psychology,
No, it's okay.
weirdly my phone, I looked up and it was black.
I know. I was like, what happened?
Does that happen? It's weird.
It does. It's just the beauty of Instagram Live.
Well, let me go back. I was in the car. I was in LA, and it before we went up there to film the pilot episode. I just got the part, and I was driving down La Brea, right by, and those who are from here know where I'm talking about. And Franklin and Hollywood. I was right there. I was listening to NPR and some beautiful. Damn it! I'm not going to remember the name of it. It's going to. Sorry, but I'll post something. But I was just listening to this voice. It came on at night. It's probably 10:30 at night. Beautiful operatics voice comes on, and the music was so dark and so like it just penetrated deeply. And I thought, this is where the character lies.
Wow.
And it turns out that song is actually a poem, which I didn't know.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'll post it. I'll tweet it.
Yeah, I'm curious about the song.
I listened to that before every Evil Queen scene that I had.
Oh, wow.
I did it for a while until I got like, okay, it's not working anymore. I need something else, right? But it really put me in her shoes and deepened the character for me level. I probably wouldn't have had if I didn't have the song. Anything else, but like that song, as soon as I heard it, it's the Evil Queen song. It just is. It says like something about taking your soul, something about taking your heart.
Oh, wow.
like, oh my God.
You're like, this is perfect.
It was perfect. And so that's definitely on the playlist. But music it has a huge influence on me. I am a collector. I'm not too many things. I'm selective because otherwise I would be a hoarder, and I am kind of that. I'm getting back, but I have a huge collection of music and a huge collection of DVDs and movies, and that's what I like to collect. When I was a kid, I collected stamps and stickers and stuff, but and books. I have so books, DVDs, and music,
Mm.
and that is everything for me. So yeah.
I love that. You must just be constantly creating in your mind. I feel like I feel like you're the type, and you please correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like when you read, you're envisioning or you're hearing, and when you're listening, you're seeing and you're feeling, and I think that's a true gift. So,
One
um,
100%. It's funny. I was like, what have I done this hiatus? And then hiatus, I was like, what have I done? What have I done? And I was like, okay, painting again. I started writing. I started, recording a song. I started a clothing line. I was like, I just want to stay creative. It's the joy of my soul.
I love it, and I'm telling you, I got to get my Keep It Regal mask. I can't wait for that. I got to get one of those. Those are so cute.
Thank
Um,
you.
well, this was so fun. We're actually out of time. I could talk to you for hours and hours about everything,
I
but
know, likewise. That's why I said asking to put this list together was the hardest thing for me. And I just had my assistant go through. I said we need to reorganize all my DVDs because they were all over the place, and she just alphabetized all 700 plus DVDs. I was like, I love you. I want to. She's the
oh,
best. She put it all together for me. She's just her brain works in that way. She's brilliant, and
I love that.
yeah, and it was great. So it was fun to kind of flip through all of them. Once done, it was part of the project. I wanted her to do that so then I can go through it and go, okay, which are the ones I want to talk about here? And there's a list if you go to cherrypicks.com.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh yeah, and it's fantastic. And what I love about the list too is it's not just one genre. It's not from one time period. You really, invite us into your soul and how movies have really truly affected you, which is what I love about the Spotlight series and the Cherry Chat series. So thank you so much, and everyone go watch The Tax Collector too.
oh
Oh
yeah,
my god, amazing!
please.
Oh my gosh, brace yourself, baby. It is a wild ride. It is a wild ride. It's
David,
great.
you know how that is. It's dark and edgy and gritty. And
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun one. So thank you so much, Lana. I really truly
you.
love this. I hope we can do something soon. And just thank you so much. All right, have a lovely rest of your day.
And you all, thank you. Take care.
Thanks, everybody.